Hello, you cake. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, like, there's something really weird with the resolution of the game, and it's. I was trying to fix it before stream. There we go. That works. Hello, Tachi. Hello, hello. All right. I have not fixed the orbs. You will get many, many more. Special transition. Hello, everyone. Slowly improving the nice aspects of my stream now. Nice little soccer transition between scenes. So, last time we were working on a bunch of things, doing a lot of voice acting. No one else is here today, and so Tachi is also tired, so I will be doing most of the voice acting today. Unless other people come by and happen to want to contribute. So, we are on Unspeakable Story, Trial Part 3. Hopefully there's more stereoscopy today. Thank you very much for the head pat. Wonderful thing. I literally just got home, so I am super happy to get head pats. First thing in the stream. Can be nice after a long day at work. Thank you ever so much. It was a pretty good day. I got a lot done. And I got some nice things said about me. So 17th of April, 12:41 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Gina, how are you holding up? Starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. I didn't expect that. He's like, getting treated like a young, like, getting that tsundere feeling feels, Hello, Archie Lumen. Good to see you today. I need to, like, make this wiggle back and forth instead of bouncing, but I haven't had time. Like I said, I literally got home from work. So. Hello. I like how Ryunosuke is just immediately like, yes, show me more of your tsundere side. Starting to feel quite warmly toward her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny! Are you alright? Why weren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? I'll go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me. What? Oh, you saw it? That picture? What picture? Oh, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that going to think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You still can't think I'm innocent. Of course I can. I need, like, an angry acting phrase. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still... We'd really like to hear it from you. I know, right? Alright then. It was after we had dinner together at your place, right, Iris? And we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yeah, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to the Tudor to Windybank's place. I had to know if Iris's story was there or not. The Hound of the Baskervilles, the unspeakable story. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, there's something in it that her Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking it in log with Windybank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windybank's? I had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was going to kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the old lamp on the counter a bit of wick. And that's when... What do you think you're doing? I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like... Well, I don't know what.
Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery.
The manuscript. Have you got it here? It shows leave a load of papers with you. A story.
I beg your pardon?
The Hound of something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What will I do with it anyway? I want to see if it's here, that's all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sholmes really bombed it here or not. Wow, Sasha, thank you so much for the raid. Wow, thank you. Hello, everyone. You were able to raid me today. Hello. Thank you ever so much for the raid. Did the display not work? Hello. Thank you so much for raiding. I hope you enjoy the story that we're going through. And hopefully you'll stick around for the stream. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for raiding. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the story today. Things are heating up. I want to show if Sholmes really bombed it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
Okay. See you two later. Thank you for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. So in the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. Thank you for the head pat. Hello, Clown. Hello, Lapis. Thank you ever so much for coming by, both of you and everyone in the raid. And thank you, Sasha, once more for the raid. Thank you. Head pats are wonderful. Thank you. And it was there, alright. A manuscript. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop.
The skulking brothers are having on the scene here.
What was that noise? Someone's breaking in.
Oh dear me, is there some burglars' convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I'd better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I'll come with you.
Now, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? Oh, and I realized the Twitch chat is like covering the text. I should be careful. I was just about to go into the storeroom myself when, bang, bang! A couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then he was, right with my feet. Lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like.
'Cause you thought that whoever had shot Mr. Windybank might come for you?
Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Windybank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't done what I'd done, Cove might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. It'll be alright, Ginny, don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Runa's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove what was there in the afternoon. That agate Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night.
We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow.
We already know how he's involved. He is the spy who is passing on stuff that was mentioned in the paper about government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. It would be cool. I know it would be a lot more work, but I think it would be really cool if they included ways to potentially like edit the stuff so that if that happens, like if you do this earlier, you could know, like it would affect the dialogue and be like, he's probably the one involved in this too. I guess that might, like if you've already investigated it by this time, I think it would be cool if they pointed that out.
Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what? You can leave it all in Runo's capable hands now, Ginny. A regular the War Thunder forums, I see. Espionage is his middle name. You what? Mr. Naruodo?
Yes?
How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilden, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got a bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer.
No, I could never forget that.
Oh.
I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another kill off the hook for all you know.
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. Strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Bruno.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend.
Hello, Lumi. Thank you for coming by and saying hello. I appreciate having you. Yay, it's been a while. How have you been?
Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong.
I'm glad that you're doing alright.
As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What were you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diver and a no-go liar.
You're not like McGilded. I know that.
I also love this music. Eh? That's right, your old friend, Jenny.
I know you better than you think. We've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes. What rhymes?
That's really all we need to know.
Exactly. Mr. Naruto, I...
Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I'd been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last, the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Suzato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner.
She is indeed still a minor. She is 17, if I recall correctly. Yes, she's 17. It is unclear if they're trying her as an adult or not. 17th of April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. It seems like they're trying to. Just because it's like super premeditated. Like she went there with the intent. Well, from their point of view, it seems premeditated.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the RAN works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem.
I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's presses of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yeah, I can only apologize, my lord.
And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
This is also kind of surprising. Like, this makes a lot of sense as, like, from an objective point of view. Like, you just happen to have this wonderful chemical that reacts and lets you do blood tests instantly, and you have a database full of people's bloods. Like, if everything is true, like, this is really good evidence. But this is also something you developed on your own, and therefore, like, has no known basis in objective fact. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for lurking. I think these streams are really good for lurking, where you can just, like, treat it like an audiobook with, like, reader commentary. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building.
Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay.
Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this.
Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena at short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer.
Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communication Station.
Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all of this is about. You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know.
Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord, gladly.
I love his, like, weird, like, wiggly JoJo pose. Witness testimony, the accusation.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? No. I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present a claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence.
So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that your jury's will is upheld. And then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today.
Wow.
Golly! How long am I expected to be detained here?
I'm trying to, like, give him, like, a mix of, like, a southern accent and, like, a posh British accent. It's kind of interesting to try.
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you'll be free to leave immediately. Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least. That does not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, Counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies, you are... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So... I trust we can conclude this quickly. Good. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do.
And Google find you're considered a minor until 18. However, for England, Wales, and North Ireland, the age of criminal responsibility is 10. Therefore, Gina would be tried as an adult under the age of criminal responsibility. And this would be considered, I guess, in her case, either first or second degree murder. Depends on how you... She didn't go there with a gun intending to commit the murder, but we do have evidence showing that she had a gun at the time, and then the supposition is that she led him into the back room under duress and then fired on him after he had opened the door for her. The weird part, like, that is surprising, that the one thing that I'm concerned about, the entire time in this trial, there has been absolutely no discussion of why were you essentially passed out / asleep in the back room. Like, all of the situational events that we've done a lot of work to discover line up as to why she would be there, especially if her side of the story is true. But the prosecution has not shown, like, why that would happen. The accusation.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time.
Hold it.
Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Mr. Eggert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what made you...
Objection! The witness is here to testify about events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions.
You can't be serious! Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's gonna be evasive, is he? In an effort not to give anything away. This could be tricky.
SSX tricky. I like how these two are just like staring at him like derpy. That is an excellent question. I'm gonna try doing a pursuit on them and seeing if they say anything interesting after this next press.
But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder?
Hold it!
Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Set by a man who introduced himself as Eggert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this.
I'll finish this press and then come back and then do a pursuit.
Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in the black.
This is a Nico farce. Oh yeah, pose. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway?
Good.
Well, needless to say,
Excuse me? Mr. Ringo Skulkin, do you have something to add?
Eh? What?
Something that was said just now appears to have got you thinking.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just thinking about me bro Soke.
Oh, the one you've lost touch with?
Yeah, blimey, it could be a sight sometimes, that one. Always used to give me a share of his grub when we had anything to eat.
Sounds like a very kind man.
Get out of it! These chips are mine. I'm not sharing.
I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation.
Hold it.
Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. You're able to prove that?
Objection! Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion.
Good.
You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
A silent victory wiggle. Thanks. He has the best wiggles. I love his wiggles. They're great. Animator, if you're here, if you ever happen to see this, you did an amazing job with his wiggles. Maybe one day, Archer Limit. Aki Wiggle. Maybe one day. I'm glad that you like my random noises. Feels nice. Hatsu prayer. Oh, shiny prayer.
Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene.
Hold it.
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants.
That is an interesting thing. Now that he mentions it, it would be cool if we just like had them like prick their fingers, like, or maybe like you know they're like EpiPens or something. I don't know what they're actually called, where you like put them against your finger and you push the button, and it like pokes you with a needle so that you can draw blood for testing. Like, we could have them do that and put their blood on like a piece on like 3 different pieces of paper, label them, and then shoot them with the solution. And then we would have like their blood colors too. Yeah, I knew my grandparents one of my grandparents used to use that. But I don't know what the thingy is called. You put like a blue needle thingy in it, and then you push the button and it went ching. It was like chung. And then it would let you bleed on purpose.
It could equally be the blood of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical was able to differentiate different blood samples by—
Spare me the science lesson, boy.
Who is this Sholmes character, anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective.
So, even you are unable to bring yourself to say, great detective.
A great detective, you say?
Now in the realm of fairy tales.
Oh, we have a pursuit! We have a pursuit! Do we want to follow it or finish this press and then come back? I kind of want to follow it. Okay, excuse me. Follow!
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
Eh? What? Me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
Right, I've had it up to here with this. How many times I got to tell you?
Yes, I know. You're not Big Bruv Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Why didn't you just say that from the start?
Eh? Cool, blimey, governor. You what?
Is it not the case that Mr. Graydon just spoke? A thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court?
Eh? Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him. You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing, honest, Gov, nothing. I was just thinking, if he waves his arm around that much more, it open up the wound again, that's all.
Bruh. This face should sum up everything that I feel right now. Bruh. I have no words. Is also an excellent summary. Thank you for exposing the fact that he has a wound that you know about. And therefore, you know that he was there. And you've associated with him before.
No.
What wound?
He took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet.
I didn't think he was outright gonna just say it like that. But, okay. Bro. You absolute massive wanker. I can't believe you've done this.
So I was, in there. I was waiting for him and oh, bells!
Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord? Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if in pain. No, I refuse. Aha. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroker where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense to the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim that you have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery.
He just lied under oath. We have you now, my learned English friend. We have you now.
My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Grayman's formal testimony.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Green.
What an absolute buffoon.
The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where this man was killed. And by the way,
I know that we need to present evidence here. I'm just wondering what we need to present. Because we could use the music box disc and talk about like the fact that Grayson was there and can therefore back us up on this. We could theoretically use the coat ticket as well. I don't remember which one is his though. I think it was this one that talks about the overcoat. Let me double check.
Mr. Windybanks appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything hand to hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now.
I believe it's this one. But like, Gina had this. He had the password, he didn't have the actual ticket. Because he had like a different one that he like was using to take notes on Gina. Mason Grayson. So I think the music box disc is a better point to present, but I'll double check just by pressing him first.
Hold it!
Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it? You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study.
Objection!
Objection! No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about.
There we go. Pursuit, another one. I wonder like if we were actually supposed to press this and then do this pursuit rather than present evidence directly. Like, I don't know. Maybe you could do it both ways. I'm curious. But I will follow this pursuit.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Inspector? Eh? Come again, Sunshine. You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Well, yeah, I do remember meeting yourself and the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall. And at that time, this witness, Mr. Green, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well now. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
You what?
But you must. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on here?
Grexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Windybanks.
Yes, of course.
Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Green was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Green might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's gonna say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Bruno?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
The complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prise a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulkin brothers.
Yes, they were the key to it after all.
So he says he has nothing to do with Windybanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record.
Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon.
So, I think either piece of evidence could work. I'm willing to save here, because I think the disc is a slightly stronger piece of evidence. And if they take final, that is a good question. It might be a leftover from the giveaway. Let me go fix that stream. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go fix it. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it was there. Because I was working on multiple different overlays and trying to figure out how to link this to a different. I was trying to figure out how to link it to another giveaway. But I shall make it go away. And I'll also reduce the size of the chat a little bit so that it overlaps less with the text. That might be a little bit better. Let's make it just a little bit small. There we go. Uh-huh. I did the thing. Oh, and while I'm at it, just for the people who are here, just quick question. Do you like this layout more? Or the layout when it was like this, and it was like hovering in the frame? Like this. With the flames. Boom, 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 boom. Like, which layout did you like more? You like this one more? Yeah. Like this. I'm melting. Yeah. Melting. And I hit my goal, so I get the giveaway for that. Okay, I'll go back to using this one. And I'll go ahead and get rid of the bar behind it. There we go. I can put you here. Oh, like this? Okay. I'll leave it here for now then. Thank you. Oh, wait. There we go. Thank you for the advice and the input. Okay. That's just a little bit smaller. It's like you're on a conveyor belt to be nommed. You shall be consumed. Okay, there. Sorry about the delay there. Thank you. Okay. Yum. I actually have a GIF for this, by the way. For like numbing thing. Not me, but like a fun one. Alright, let's present the music box and see if this is good. Objection! Wait, why is it going fast? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Okay. Okay.
Objection! Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why, is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn on Mr. Windybank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to be trying to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there's a small smear of blood on the disc. Ah, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps? That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Oh, gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Green, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Grayston? It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder.
Witness testimony. The disc.
There's a note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGill, did you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder. Yes, my lord. The one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon. Are you saying that Mr. McGill and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct.
Ooh, the plot thickens. He admits it. This will come back to bite him later. This is a convenient tool. Remember it for later.
certainly didn't expect to hear that name here in my courtroom again.
According to what Sheena told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. But Gilbert himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windybanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him, then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windybanks in order to get his hand on McGilda's disc for some reason. Archer Lumen, that's an excellent question. I am wondering the same thing myself now. Did he happen to kill McGilden? Only time will tell.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.
Cross-examination. The disc. There's a note on the disc saying for McGilda, but the item belongs to me.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary.
Wow, he's really just like, you see this drip?
Really, I've got money to burn.
Stared off screen and thought I said handsome.
You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. You are very fabulous for the court.
So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your overcoat? Obviously, and in my haste I clean forgot. The music box disc was in its pocket. And yet there is a note on it that reads, "For McGilded." I am a collector of rare and unusual box music. I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area.
So the disc in question.
It's a pre-production sample. I promised to let Mr. McGilded hear it. But then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn. Yes, exactly.
Sheena didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she?
No, because McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh dear, this is complicated, isn't it?
Let's leave it alone for the time being. I like that song. Leave it alone. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy guttling on the day in question.
Hold it!
Hold it.
So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right, despite being mindful of danger when walking in the insalubrious areas her kind frequent.
Get notices. Notorious.
Objection!
Oh wait, what? How? Oh, for a second I thought it like actually like randomly gave me an objection.
Objection! Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbrokery that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her. That's what brought you to Windybanks. To get your hand on Mr. McGilded's disc.
Objection!
Objection! My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense.
Nonsense?
I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecturing in this way. Is that clear?
Yes, my lord. It's not conjecture, though, but we can't prove it.
That's the frustrating part. And like, we're also not allowed to submit this as testimony because we are directly tied with the defendant's interests. So even though this is objectively what happened, we would have to prove that in court. But it's so convenient for us that I guess they think it's conjecture. I'm actually remembering to properly hydrate today. Be proud of me, everyone. Everyone's use of hydrate has got me redeemed. Has redeemed my sense of I need to, like, I forget. Then I will continue with my testimony. For what possible use it can be. Proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. Thank you. Yes. Praise me for actually taking care of myself. I'm in a good mood and therefore can remember things.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to Windy Binks before?
Only once, for the purposes of pawning something, but like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments.
So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course, such is the art of the pick purse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbroker at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could.
People were slapping me because I didn't have head pat routine, and now that I have it, I get head pats. It's amazing.
I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place.
He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this.
In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. Jackson, you should have something to say about this. Hold it! Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? And that's right. This was the very man. Apparently, the
Is that
police are
right?
collecting evidence that has anything to do with connection to Mr. McGillicuddy as evidence. I like how he's just like,
Chotto!
Excuse me.
Chotto! Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Inspector?
What do you mean?
The last remark Mr. Gray made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way.
Eh? No, no, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave me alone.
He's just like, leave me alone.
Let me wallow in your misery.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGillicuddy's possessions?
Can't tell you something like that, sunshine. What is it, Inspector?
Investigative secrets.
Yes, exactly. You should know all about that.
Magnus McGillicuddy, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he had a dark side too.
Where are you going with this, Van Zakes?
I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, aren't they?
That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know.
Duties conferred by law and straw, my boy, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector.
The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first.
I love that he said paw print because it fits in with like the long running joke of me calling him Long Strong Boy. You need his paw print. Oh, I am so happy with this. It's amazing.
What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here.
Well, it would appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony.
Gladly, my lord.
Remember this. It's an important tool that we'll need later. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that
Hold
same
it!
Hold it!
But perhaps you'd seen something of value among the forfeited items. No, not at all.
Oh.
A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelves was common or garden bric-a-brac.
In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Mr. McGilvit's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. What is no more in the shop that night than I? As I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. So there was nothing of McGilvit's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wonder if that's really true.
Bruno, if you have some evidence, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble. Let me bask in his misery. I do love seeing people suffer. When they deserve it, of course.
McGilvit slipped a disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windy Pigs. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left behind by McGilvit as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But Gregsy's being very strange about all this.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony.
Okay, so that last statement is where we need to present something. So... Time to put on our thinking caps. Let's see. I don't think it would be either of the tickets. And Gina had the coat at this point, so there's no need for him to break in after the coat. So the coat existence is not relevant here either. This is just rep papers. I don't know why this hasn't been removed from our inventory yet. I'm assuming we'll need it at the end of the case to like cheer Gina up or something like that. But I don't see what its relevance is right now. Potentially the manuscript? Like, this may be where it starts to become relevant. But let's table that for now and go through the rest of our evidence. The blood sample portfolio. I don't think there's anything here that would be relevant. Same thing, ticket. McGilda case notes not yet. The paper doesn't really make sense either. Autopsy report, we're not talking about Wendy Bank right now, so most of the evidence related to his death aren't necessarily relevant. I am legitimately not sure. What reason would he have had to break into the shop later that night? Literally, the only thing I can think of is the manuscript. But at this point in time, it has absolutely no relevance to the entire case. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is the spy, but we don't have any way to tie that information to what the current conversation is, which is the same issue with the manuscript. And we know that the Skulkin brothers were... Well, we don't know, but there is a highly likely chance that the Skulkin brothers were hired by this guy in order to break into the environment. Like the whole reason that they were there was because of him. So, thinking about all of this information... I'm like wondering, what could we possibly get him with? I feel like we need to revisit the pawnbroker stuff. And we need to rethink this. Because those are the only two things that were there, right? Like, I feel like I discarded them pretty quickly. Because the only evidence that we have that's even related to things that you could go to Winniebanks for are these two claim tickets, Iris's manuscript, and the disc. We know that it wasn't the disc because, well, the disc was in the possession of the police. So it has to be something with these two coat tickets. But what for? And again, it can't be the coat because, like, the coat was there. So the story. Oh, you want to know what the story behind the manuscript is? TLDR. Iris writes a lot of stories based on things that she finds in Sholmes's journals, or not just Sholmes's journals. The journals of her father that were left behind. So she kind of takes those, embellishes them with like, details from Sholmes, who was there as well, and publishes those as stories. So all of like the famous stories that are written about Sherlock Holmes and his assistant are penned by Iris. This is a manuscript that she wrote that Sholmes looked at, read through, and was like, "You can't publish this. Like, the world is not ready to read this yet. Like, you absolutely must not publish this." And she was like, "Why?" And he's like, "I can't tell you. I will tell you when the time is right, but just trust me on this. You need to not publish this." So she was like, "Okay, weird, but I'll trust you." So she gave him the manuscript and he put it in Winniebanks for safekeeping. Because he was like, it would be safer than keeping it here. So there's something in here that's like very, very important, but we haven't gotten there yet. So back to the situation at hand. It can't be the manuscript because it hasn't come up yet. It will definitely come up, but we haven't gotten there yet. It can't be the coat because Gina ended up with the coat after the altercation where they fought. So the only thing it could be is the box. But the problem is that this was the 16th of April. The redemption deadline for this was 3 days prior. But and this is the same thing. So maybe he left the box in the back? And it's just the other cat picture. Like the two receipts are just the cat pictures. But yes, they are both cat pictures. They are related, yes. Wait, this kind of looks like the M symbol that McGilded had. Yeah. So maybe this is all. This might also be McGilded's then. In which case, maybe he was breaking in to get the box instead of the ticket? I mean, instead? He knows the code is gone, so maybe he broke in to get the box? I don't see it as a very strong progression of logic, but let's go with it and just see where it ends up. Maybe it's right. I don't know. Objection! Oh, it's right! Okay, cool.
This disc was deposited at Miss Windybanks on Magnus McGilded's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Objection! Conjecture again. In any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night.
Objection!
Objection! Sorry, my learned friend. But that's not true. Oh, he gets to be smug back at him. Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true.
What?
Mr. McGilded had another article in pawn at Windybanks, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. There were 2 articles belonging to Mr. McGilded in Windybanks pawnbroker, and the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one, together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers.
This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited?
The article description reads, 1 small box.
A rather vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box?
I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did.
This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing?
Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft.
That's a good point. That's what I was saying. It was 3 days late. It could have been on time. Huh. I wonder if that was why he was there on the morning. He looked around, tried to see if it was there, saw that it wasn't. And the cat picture was on the desk. Maybe he noticed it was still there and I don't know. That's weird. How did he know it was still there? That's the weird thing.
That's a good point.
Indeed. The witness makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Craven fellow needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
Objection. It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord Van Zeeks? I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windybanks pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it.
What?
Good gracious. Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir.
What prints?
These prints were taken from all the detective security cameras.
Hannah's red-handed recorders again.
As previously explained using this plan of the shop layout, the victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter when Mr. Windybank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed for sale once forfeited. According to the information on this ticket, the small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident at 9 PM on 13th of April, to be precise. which means it would have been on shelves of forfeited items in the shop front.
And exactly, like, there's nothing that says he might not have just left it in the back room. Like, oh, I don't really have room to move this out. That's not really interesting. I'll just keep it in the back until I have some more room or something. But it's also a good supposition to be like, he would just put it outside. It's a small box. It doesn't take that much space. But if it was still in the back room, then yes, he would have failed to acquire it because Ginny existed. But like, it actually is a plot point right now of it should have been out front because of forfeiture. So that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Like, why would it have been forfeited and still in the back?
Now, what appears a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. I saw it at 11 p.m. on 15th of April. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. And then here we have another print. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident.
Oh, you know what? This is probably another stereoscopy picture session because we need to see if the box has been moved. Maybe he didn't take the box, but okay, I'll duck. Go. I ducked. Alternatively, I can hide. I'm over here now. Hiding. Be careful, it's loud. Oh, Shadow, stop today. For some reason, like a couple days ago, that was like super loud. It seems to have been fixed. Okay.
I see. So we have two pictures to compare.
What I'm assuming is that if there was anything in that box, they probably didn't need the box. They need what's inside the box. So they didn't need to take the whole box. Stereoscopy, let's go! There it is.
Well, I must say that placing them side by side leaves me cold.
I showed my mom. I was like, look, I can make myself go cross-eyed now. And she was like, why? Oh no, accidentally advanced past it. That was unfortunate. And she was like, why did you pick this skill up? And I was like, because it's a gimmick in a case I'm streaming. And I was like, look, I can go cross-eyed on purpose now. And she was like, okay. She was just like looking at me like I'd grown a third head. And I was like, ugh.
Dear me, that's starting to make my head ache. Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we consider theft as one possible motive in this case. We explore the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared these two prints thoroughly, Inspector. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna do stereoscopy on it. Give me a sec. I will tell you what I find in just a moment. Oh wait, let me turn up the light and get close. Yeah, it looks like they moved. I haven't gotten it to fully converge yet, but I can see like they're overlapping closely enough. I haven't gotten it fully, but I'm like right along the edge of getting it. Darn it. Like, I can see them, like, sliding. Okay. Okay. Alright, go home. Thank you for taking the screenshot. Okay. Good. Ah, no, stop. Elder? Who? Elder? Which elder? Okay.
So we have two pictures to compare.
Oh, wait. This is later. Alright.
So your men have already compared these two prints thoroughly, Inspector. Yes, sir. We counted every single item in each of these two photographic prints, and your conclusions are exactly the same number present in both. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker on the night in question, and my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy.
I don't believe it. If I could have just shown that he'd stolen the Golden's Pond box.
Oh yeah.
His silent victory wiggle is the best, but I can't help but add, like, the oh yeah. Darn it, if I'd at least shown that he could stolen the box, I might have been able to break him down at last. You know what, Reno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same. What?
So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that, in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion?
I don't know. Could there be something hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere? Point out a discrepancy. I wasn't sure at first. There's a clear discrepancy between these two prints. You won't.
What? You must identify the location in question for the court counsel. Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak.
Like, here's the question. I'm not sure if, like, I should do this with the way that, like, I'm not sure if I should do it with, like, the way that the, what do you call it? It's like,
Take that!
obviously the discrepancy is here.
Objection!
Objection.
I must
Thank my learned friend. His answers clarify the situation greatly. There's indeed a discrepancy here between our respective powers of reasoning.
let me guess. My powers of reasoning come up short.
It would appear you're learning, counsel, but not quickly enough.
Ugh. I'm sure it's there. It's subtle, but there's a difference between these two prints. I know there is. Don't give up, Bruno. You can do this. There's us looking at our sins. I will use a piece of evidence so I can see, like, so I can unite it so that they can show me the, like, I'll use a piece of evidence. I'd like to try something if I may.
Try something? What do you mean, Counselor? I'll need to use a certain piece of evidence from the court record to identify the discrepancy. I'm not entirely sure I follow. Which piece of evidence do you intend to use to help you identify discrepancy between the two prints?
Take that!
Obviously, the stereoscope. I'd like to use this device, my lord, to view the two prints stereoscopically. Oh, yes, you've caught the bug at last. You can't resist it, can you? You've got the cross-eyed compulsion. Juror number 3, what a surprise. Come on, Bruno. Let's put the pictures in place and see what this wonderful contraption shows us. There we go. Now look through the eyepiece. Oh, it was all the way down there? I didn't see that.
Wasn't sure at first, but there's a clear discrepancy between these two prints.
What? Identify the location. Yeah, I didn't see this. I was like looking up here and I was like, this looks kind of like it's a meeting, but not quite.
Take that!
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there's one minor discrepancy between them.
You
When you view the two pictures stereoscopically, a single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box.
Let me wait. Unbelievable.
Having the judge being cross-eyed is amazing.
By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary.
What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilded's small box was indeed not stolen from Windybanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves.
Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Mr. McGilded is in fact?
Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Objection. Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means quite simply that nothing has changed.
That may be true, but... Alright, Mr. McGilded's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that changes things? Yeah, it changes everything! I believe this changes everything about the case.
How can that possibly be?
The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Windybanks as we speak.
Objection!
Objection! That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
Really? You're pulling this card now? When we know that the disc belonged to the same dude?
The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zeeks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once, obtain the small box in question, and bring it back here for further examination.
I did not see it. I was like, it looks normal, but maybe I'm just like not getting it fully crossed over. I was focused on the wrong. So it's interesting that for these, like, the effect isn't super obvious and you need to, like, Like, it may be off-center. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. I need to see the picture. Can you send it to me? Oh, for some reason it's not letting me review the history. Okay.
We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing. I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zeeks. This is nothing but a smokescreen, an Ebony's specialty, it would seem. I hear that you have people called ninjas who specialize in this sort of thing. Is my learned friend perhaps interested in the arts? What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
This witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place. Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend in his most insightful defense.
God, this is like pouring salt on a wound.
The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. No, that does make a lot of sense. It's not as if it were gold or jewels, is it? Oh, goodness knows, Mr. McGilded was rich enough. But you can't deposit the cash at a pawnbrokery, I'm sure about that.
Prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by the fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case?
Well, what's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
Yes, of course, you and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character. And we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. The defense's argument is flawed, based on false information.
Oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury.
But Ginny...
Could it be that Van Zeeks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything?
But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry, what do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Ah. Alright, the exact significance of the things that Mr. Gilded deposited with Mr. Windybank is something that only Gina can explain to the court.
if I put her on the stand to testify about that? It could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here?
Oh, of course the truth has to come out. We have to have her testify. We've been agonizing about this all day. Obviously, it's something that we need to do.
My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal.
Oh, what proposal, counsel?
While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand.
The defendant? To what end?
It's to do with the various articles deposited at Windybanks by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all.
Well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, the impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed your own.
I have.
Lord Van Zeeks, would you care to explain that last remark?
The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself.
Very well, if you have no objection. So, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. You witnesses carrying the stand may step down until further notice.
Then I shall bid you good day.
I like how he doesn't have his hat on and he's still like playing with his hat with that animation.
Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies.
As you wish. All right then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here.
Good luck, Bruno. Dun 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 dun!
The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago.
Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well.
That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded.
The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now, here we are all again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend. What a twist.
Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. As the trial progressed, another possibility emerged. The murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilded died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. As indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor this small box being mentioned in the course of these proceedings.
Miss Lestrade, would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago? I mean...
I don't know what you mean. Or said all of what I know.
And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade, this is extremely important.
But...
Remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury.
I like that perjury is actually, like, a thing in this game, even though it still doesn't affect proceedings as much as it should.
And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts. You have little credibility to lose.
Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Bruno now. Iris, we're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk.
It's the right choice, Gina.
Well, it would seem that my learned friend
Is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it.
I must confess that I am struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilden's pawn articles in that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbour secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements.
This is it. Everything is gonna come out. Like Van Zeke said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk.
Witness testimony, the real truth of the omnibus case. Truth is, that brickmaker Cole was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops. As when McGill had slipped the driver some tin to do wrong to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Good grief, that is outrageous. What you've just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago.
Wow, thank you so much. I will remember to hydrate. I just did even, but I'll do some more. I came back quickly to try, well, relatively quickly. But thank you so much for renewing your subscription. I need to go make all of the nice icons for you. I'm sorry, I haven't had time to do that lately, but I want to take some time between streams to do that. I'm gonna go hydrate right now. I return. I'll redo the last line since I stopped for a little bit.
Good grief, this is outrageous. What you've told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago.
As you say, my lord.
Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated in error in McGilded's trial. It sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived the court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes.
Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial, of this witness, and of my learned friend are entirely unexcusable.
The court is in an uproar. I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce. It was all lies. That McGilded fellow was brought into the court, just like the pickpocket. Don't forget the lawyer from the east. They were in it all together. They're wrong. The lawyer, Mr. Naruto, the lawyer, he knew nothing about it. I don't think so. Are we really expected to believe that?
He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation to get the man off scot-free.
Unforgivable. Stop. The lies in your lives have to stop. Stop.
Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on their testimony, because the true significance of Mr. McGilded's Pond articles must be brought to light.
Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depth of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord.
Blimey, Mr. Naruto.
Now, Counselor, proceed with the cross-examination.
I mean, she's just telling us the truth. There's nothing to, object against here. This is just pressing, I guess. The real truth of the omnibus case. Truth is, that brickmaker cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. Hold it!
You were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Miss Lestrade? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats?
Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. Now, in your testimony to... Oh, wait, sorry.
Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGilded was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord.
That's what we don't know how to say.
But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Are Mr. McGilded and the victim acquaintances?
I don't know. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. Why are they conspiring? What? Why are they like this? This is new. I kind of want to pursue this. So, before I do this, do you want me to go through and press the rest of her stuff and come back to this? Or do you want me to pursue it now? I'm curious. This might be what we actually needed to do. Okay. because I noticed his back was turned, so I was like, why is his back turned? I don't know. Well, I did hear him talking a lot.
What were they talking?
Oh, wait. Sorry.
What were they talking about?
I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. I kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
But anyway, it got louder and louder. Started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
I believe you let out an involuntary scream?
Yeah, that's what gave me away. Oh wow, they're still doing it like the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me up from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Was the disc you saw this disc?
Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I know. Well, McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And he set a cove with the knife in his belly up on the seat.
What did he say to you at that time?
He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared, the way he was looking at me. I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'll get stuck with that knife too. And he started asking me a load of questions, like what my name was and where I lived and all that. He asked me about being a diver too.
But after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed?
Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops.
Hold it!
Hold it.
There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe.
That's right. They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed a cove with a knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGilly got out of my sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back on the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the two coves on the roof ran off to fetch the slops.
If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident.
So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene.
Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was on the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside.
The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe. A fellow who went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves.
Hello, Priya.
What did McGilda and the driver say to each other?
Sorry, I read that weirdly. I don't know what happened and stuff like that mainly. Oh wait, let me stream over Discord to make it easier for the people who are here in Discord. There. I didn't hear you very well.
Sorry, I was just about to suggest that.
Yep. That's when McGill had slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout. Hold it!
That pawn shop obviously being Wendy Banks on Baker Street.
Just a moment, Counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony in that trial as well?
Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbroker slipped his mind when he was in the stand.
Indeed, Lord Van Zeeks.
Gillet took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it all careful like before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it's got to be worth a few bob.
Yeah, Gina was sure the disc must be more than Mr. Wendy Bank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when McGillet flashed on Brasson's face. He went running off at a lick. And the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the drag's cabin. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Threatened you how, exactly?
Told me I'd only be able to scarper if I did exactly what we said.
Which included giving false testimony in a court 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it. That was one other thing he said.
Which was?
He told me I'd have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Well, I never.
Said that if he didn't get to show up to ticket off me, said if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me for 2 months past, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in log, to stop it being forfeited. He left me with some brass to pay for it.
But really, why on earth would Mr. McGillet have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with the pawnbroker before the arrival of the police. It makes no sense at all.
There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. What McGillet had the driver deposit at Windybanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Thank
you for the
And remember,
stretchy stretch.
Hydrate or die.
Stretchy stretch. Big stretch. Hoi.
I don't know if you want to hear me make those noises.
That's the left. This is the right. Thank you, Ronnie.
Have a safe trip home. Be safe out there. Make sure that you arrive safely. Please let me know that you do. It's very important that you be safe. Take care. See you soon. Farewell for now. Anyway, after that, he let me go, so I left it before the coppers showed up. Don't get isekai.
Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that.
Ginny's really put her faith in you, now.
Yes, and to think her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial's over. So I need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible.
It's time to really go for it. Press her on every statement.
I suppose I should.
Oh, and another thing.
What's that?
Take a look at those two. Isn't it strange that they've been whispering to each other the entire time?
Yeah, that is strange. It's like they're having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it.
Alright, that was the entire thing.
Hold it!
Excuse me!
Is there something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon?
Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Blimey, you trying to give me a heart attack?
You've been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about?
Discussion with this fella? Pull the under one, sunshine.
Really? You're actually going to pull this when you were doing this in clear view of everyone?
You think I've got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this?
And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after you've deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. They've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating.
Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I have heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus. It would appear on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus.
a negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGilda took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way.
Although I don't understand why as of yet.
And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilda's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited.
I didn't know what I should do with a ticket. I mean, a cove died right after his trial. I knew that.
So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own.
Oh, no, I'm not, eh? They're only going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got 'em? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
Miss Lestrade, it would appear Mr. McGilden was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that might be?
Eh? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He was probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime.
My lord? The evidence your lordship has requested has been located and is ready for the court's inspection, sir.
Dun 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 dun!
The mysterious little box deposited by McGilda 2 months ago? There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece in this far-reaching puzzle. I am very interested. This is getting so good. Oh, what? I went to the wrong setup, sorry. Whoosh. To be continued. Save your current progress? Yes. Trial part 4. Amazing. This is a long trial. The box is here.
So,
A box? It's curved.
It's a container. It ain't a box no more. It's like a cylinder, but like a box.
It's an archway.
Exactly. You got to figure out what's inside it.
so this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilda 2 months ago.
And on the night of Mr. Windybank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop.
Quick, quick. Let's open it and see what's inside. It's a stick.
Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems.
Wow! I thought in truth I had an inkling that might be the case.
It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement.
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord.
Ooh, are we finally gonna hear what's on the disc? Exciting!
Maybe some secret spy shit.
I know, right?
So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilda's disc deposited in Windybanks at much the same time.
Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilded's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilda?
Is he gonna do the derp face? He's not gonna do it.
I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord.
Yes, very well.
This must be like how the actual like spy stuff is gonna come into the case.
Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Hold it!
Oh? His voice is not what I expected. I thought that might have been Gregson for a bit. I feel like his voice doesn't match. The one that like he actually has in game, like officially.
Wait, my lord! Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? A music box and a disc arm? Well, they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. Objection!
Hello, dear. Welcome back. Thank you so much for subscribing again. Yay! It's been a while. How have you been? It's good to see you. How have you been? What's up? Hi. Boop. Make myself smaller so I can fit in the box again. There we go. Yeah, it's been a while since you chatted. I mean, like, it's good to see you, like, chatting again. How have you been?
Objection! This disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened.
The prosecution has no objection. But no! Your piece of evidence is police property now. You can't... Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Oh, further delays, please. Play the disc.
At last. I'm so excited to hear what's on it. It's not going to be music at all. It's going to be...
I honestly think Van Zieks might be my favorite character in this courtroom.
It's Morse code. This is Morse code.
What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music.
No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Obviously, it's Morse code. Duh. Freestyle Aki!
Mr. Creighton? This really is priceless. Oh, yeah. After all that, the music box is broken.
But broken? It can't be, can it? No, he's happy that he was able to hear it. I'm surprised that the other operator hasn't chimed in at this point.
Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom.
Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues.
Point out that it's Morse code!
Are you ready to move on, Counsel?
Come on!
Yes, alright, it does show that it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from a music box possibly be a new clue?
Yes, it is! It's Morse code!
I believe that it could be relevant, my lord.
Good Lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, Counsel, mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever.
It does sound strange, I agree, but there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge.
If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this.
Oh?
Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
It's the defense's belief that that sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music.
Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be.
Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runo.
Objection!
Objection! The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, how about you tell us what they are? I'm sure the court would like to hear that. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend.
Well,
Surely you have an idea in mind.
Oops, excuse me.
Surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument.
exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness. They got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yet, I do. There's the dirt piece! I love it when he does this face. He's just like... There's this character in one of my favorite games of all time called Okami. I think it still is my favorite game to this day. Where he would get super surprised at stuff, and he would go like... and make basically this exact same face. Though like more exaggerated. And it makes me laugh every time.
Runo? I've just examined the music box very thoroughly, and I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really?
Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Like I said, it's for Morse code. Well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Please, stop dragging this out. I know what the answer is. This hurts me. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Yes!
Something's just struck me, Runo. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes.
Yes! Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, counsel?
All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. This is where the espionage comes in! Finally! Ew.
The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation.
Gladly. It's the newspaper. This is the tie-in for all the espionage stuff, finally! Alright then, this could be the best chance I'm gonna get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's gonna join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds of the music box is the paper! Take this! It's spy stuff!
Today's paper, counsel. The headline is Pawnbroker perishes in Pig Plus plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause.
No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page.
Further down, Ministry roll classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand.
I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries.
And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wire telegrams.
Of course.
Juror number 5, your input, please.
Stop. Me, sir? Whatever is the matter?
You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not?
Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh, yes. We're not over another mere communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? Hmm. You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. You win the grand prize. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. Indeed, this is Morse code. I don't believe it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code?
Yes, you win, Mr. Prosecutor.
Order, please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, Counsel, deserving of capital punishment execution. Too much new vocabulary. All this is treason, and what is capital punishment?
The sorts of word I'd half expect you to know.
For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price.
Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery.
My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc would be discovered before it found its way out of the country,
it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death.
So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. And in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbroker illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon?
You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous.
And this is why you're so rich. You're getting thick and you're getting thick off it. Thicker boy, getting fed.
So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection! Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense.
Delighted, I'm sure.
The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny is the trial as the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windybank, that being a most flagitious offense for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Creighton. So then, let us proceed.
Hold it!
You gotta let us have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say.
Oh, I beg your pardon? Who do you think you are?
Name's Nat Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell out on motherland.
That's right. We what they call... Damn. The three Skulkin brothers.
Bad,
Oh, brother.
bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing.
Ooh. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-caste brickmaker negotiating with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've
no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what we told us to do. If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it.
Ooh, they're confessing that he hired them. This is good.
Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin. One Mr. will do, Governor. What's up? Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? And moreover, you did so as a party of three in collaboration with Graydon here? We did, Gov, we did.
I like that they're turned around in that one scene. They probably made that just for that one part. It's great. I'm glad that they had such attention to detail. Again, animators, thumbs up. Thank you very much for making the little things count.
Quiet down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to.
You little rotter getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job. And what about the days of whose shop it was, eh? Poor old bloke didn't have to die, did he?
I'm sorry, that just sounded really weird. Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations.
Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it into the...
Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry.
However, as it has, I will admit it into the court record as evidence.
A small music box has been entered into the court record.
Communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information.
Hold it!
Hold it! So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Oh, let me check something. Any important government communication are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop! Must say something! Stop! Let me guess. Juror number 5, over to you. We regular communication stations officers aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team lead. That's fascinating. Actually is. Like, actually. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop! Currently presence of idol. Stop!
So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon.
Well, what of it? The transmission's always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. In any case, all messages are sent in silent. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop! Must say something, stop! Ooh, she's gonna rat on him. I'm glad that we have someone else here to, like, contradict his lies. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he has received the top prize at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row now. Really? Okay, so he thank you. That's fascinating. Actually fascinating. This is very relevant to the case. He's just like, oh crap. I can't lie with her here. Oh no. What do I do? Exactly. We've got
got your number now. Your days are numbered. Coming down on you. We can smell what you're cooking, and it smells like burnt dreams and discarded hopes with dishonorable seasoning.
What am I on about?
I don't know, but it's making me hungry.
Greatness highly skilled operator, stop! Currently presence of idol, stop!
Well, your idol would appreciate it if you'd keep your mouth shut.
She should really pick her idols more carefully.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code.
Hold it! Hold it! We got your number. It's beep, 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 beep.
They're not?
Anyone with a brain that would be blatant apparent after listening to that music box within a few seconds.
No, it's blatantly apparent to anyone with a brain that it is. Of course.
Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code.
Ouch. He looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson? Here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of two distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same in everything.
But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
What?
Is it actually not? I feel like it would be, but maybe even just encrypted or something. Like, clearly it wouldn't be so obvious as to be like direct Morse code, but it is Morse code like with a key.
So I've got two theories.
Uh-huh.
Either there's two discs, so one has the long dash and one has the short dash, or each tone on the music box is the start and end of a tone. So like a long dash would be two dots or something like that.
Yeah. So,
Or third theory, flip the disc over and you can hear the long dashes.
that's a good question. Let me open this. I'm gonna look at this. Oh? What is it, Runo? I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Oh! Yeah, we're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it. All right, then here goes. Look at that. There's another movement on the other side. So, does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side? I think you're right. Like, it seems like you're supposed to have two discs in here. Wow.
But also, like, music boxes don't really have long noises. The point of a music box is to have every noise be the same,
Yeah.
right? But then again, I guess this is a custom one, so...
Yeah, clearly this is a custom device specifically to be used with this system. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, if you put them both in and then you hit play and it does both at the same time, like, the other one might just have, like, tracks that are just, like, bing, 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 like that. And it would be the thingy. I wanted to look at the box. Whoa. You can set another disc to play back on this side. Yes, I think so. It looks like the two movements are linked together. They're linked? So if you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. This is critical information.
It
Actually,
explains the shape, because it's supposed to be laying down like this. Or standing up like that, rather.
yeah. Oh, I get it. It sits up like a clock. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, hold on, I'm trying to get the rotation to work. The rotation's a little kind of weird. But yeah, I think you get it. You can get it from like here. There we go. It's supposed to sit up like this. And then you strap the two discs in here. like this. And then you hit play, and it plays both sides at the same time.
And then you get your government secrets. Let's go.
Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future.
Stop. Nothing to say, but stop. Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it, Iris? I mean, if the government secret was somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this box somehow to play Morse code?
Give it a No! I hit down and it didn't register. No, go back. Go back. No.
The defense will concede that the music box is irrelevant for the time being. For the time being, such optimism. Too debonair to admit defeat, are we?
Those gesticulations are really starting to grate. It can't be Morse code unless it has two distinct tones. Let's examine the music box in more detail. Let's go back.
Hold it!
I did that on accident. Please let me, respond. Give it a try.
There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Objection.
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum?
It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required, dots and dashes.
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Then what?
Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could be used to cipher secret messages into Morse code?
Up here. It bothers me that it wasn't actually understood. Take that! Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box?
What?
Oh, it appears, my lord, that the 2 movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time.
Good heavens!
As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash. With the second disc in place, this music box can be used to generate Morse code and convey a message.
This is beyond a joke.
I'm sorry?
The poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims. Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with a second disc, that would be another matter. Well?
Can't at the moment.
May I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with me gilded 2 months ago, striking a deal over the disc or discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly! I had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue.
The link between the Graydon and the victim of Yoma's case has to be here somewhere, but I haven't found it yet.
Oh dear, it looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Bruno.
You will reiterate your testimony, if you please, Mr. Graydon.
If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGildet anyway, was it not? I've no relation to the man.
Hold it!
So, 2 months ago in that audience, McGilda killed the brickmaker and stole the disc.
Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him.
That doesn't make much sense, though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information?
How indeed.
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with McGillen and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together.
If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
Okie dokie. Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what we told us to do.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean?
That's it, yeah? Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the rotter had a dodgy job for us. Ash?
Ash? Oh wait, Ashton. Right. Ashley. Oh, his first name is Ashley. Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? The plot thickens. Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours?
Well, the sociable corner about is, you know. Sure, let's say Graydon's in old China.
Ooh, we have a pursuit. Ringo looks so happy. I like this Ringo.
He's thinking about the apple that Ashley gave him once.
I know, right? He looks so happy.
Excuse me!
Excuse
His
me.
cheeks look so puffy.
I know, right? I want to poke him. Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin?
Eh?
No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
What? Who, me?
When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a royal old laugh together way back when.
Together with Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with Ash. I mean, you look at him now and his fancy whistle and flute and you wouldn't have believe it. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town just like us.
Is that so?
Oh, he was always a leery one. Had the brains, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what would never go through our heads. Oh, blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh? Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold on. That name. Hold up, hold up. Milverton! There's the link! Mason Milverton. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. Back then they ran together. Okay, we found it! We found the link! Doing detective work. We did the thing. We found the link. It's all coming together. Oh, yes. It's all coming together.
That wicked laugh.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit.
This man, the absolute sheer hypocrisy of this man. The absolute unrelenting, unremorseful umbrage he has.
How dare he? No fruit when he's drinking wine?
And throwing it into braziers, tossing it into the gallery, slamming his feet on the table. This guy really went and said, your fruit doesn't belong. I can't believe this.
Everyone's allowed one prop.
Exactly. Everyone is allowed one prop. Mikotoba was allowed her great big book of everything. Iris is allowed her gun. Ryunosuke is allowed his sword. These two are allowed their fruit. Well, I guess if we put it that way, his prop should be the goblet. But the fact that he also has a wine bottle means he's double dipping. That's not fair.
Breaking the law.
Gregson has his potatoes. Now that we think about it, literally everyone in this case has a prop.
Even Jojo. He's got his little hat.
No, he threw his hat away. He has his cane.
Yeah.
He's-
The cane.
he still has his cane.
See, he's following the rules. Only one prop allowed.
Yes.
So that's why he threw his hat.
Yeah. This is actually deep lore.
Very important.
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
His angry face he reminds me of a pug with this angry face. Just copy paste this onto a pug.
It also looks like very trustworthy when he's angry like that.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please?
I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My lord.
Yes, counsel?
The brothers' last sentimental statement could hold vital information related to the case.
Very well, counsel. I will permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more. Skulking's never skulking. Milverton and Skulking's milk run. All those were the days.
I want to press this because I need to know what the milk run was. I need to know this deep lore. I need to uncover it.
Stole all the milk.
I'm sure I'm gonna regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about.
That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. Suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate. But on what? Business name! But this business was just... Oh wait, no, I should ask to elaborate on the other stuff. The name is what's actually important to the case. But I wanted to know... I can always go back and just press again. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Green involved?
Yeah, I see.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, I see.
And where did that name come from? Where did the Milverton part come from?
Oh, what? I thought clever clog circuit would have worked that one out. Hold it. Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel?
Objection! Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well... It weren't the happiest the homes that one came from. Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him. She took the name Green then, see? But that will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton? So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves,
Your communications officer attached to the civil service.
As such, your personal details would have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon.
Well, it would appear that Mr. Skulker's testimony has been reliable, for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct?
Very well, yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things and could turn out to be extremely important.
Ashley Graydon's personal profile has been updated in the court record. Oh, I actually need to do that.
All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a mysterious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Jimmy overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the breaking at Windybanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon on the omnibus with Mr. McGill, did it?
No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
And now, Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers.
We've already made the headway that we needed. However, I need to know more about the milk run. Ah, no. Stop. Go back. I need to know if there was a catch in the milk run. Please, I need to know. Give me the lore.
Hold it!
Oh, sorry.
So, how did your little business work exactly?
Well, every morning down our way, the milkman would come with us a cart to deliver milk, see? If you stuck your empties outside your front door, he would leave them full again, right? So, we swooped in on the action. Got people to sign up with us. We promised to deliver milk for half the price all the other guys is doing it. People couldn't wait to sign on the dotted line. We were raking it in, we were.
So, did you live on a dairy farm or something?
Go on, Bennett, are you off your rocker? We had nothing. We were too poor to have a farm.
Right.
Nah, what we had going on was simple what we had the idea. We'd just switch them over, see? Our customers' empties with the full ones from anyone who wasn't on our books. That's all right.
Oh, I see. In that way, people who, like, how did you not run out of people? Interesting. And how did they, like, not notice? I think you meant to say a diddle. And that's a crime?
It was just an harmless bit of fun, that's all.
Milking the general pub?
Please, no. Milking.
Oh, I'm sorry, the pen got me. The pun got me. I'm sorry, I'm derpy. Silly puns like this get me to laugh every time.
Milking the
What's the matter, Aki?
I'm sorry, I'm derpy. But it's
No
funny.
pun is that funny.
Okay.
Milking the general public in such a fashion is most certainly not harmless, as you put it.
Well, it was him what came out with the idea. Ash was the evil genius.
You mean Mr. Graydon? Ashley Green was once Ashley Milverton.
Oh, it's going back into that. Okay. Oh, that was funny. That was so good. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wait. Go back. Back. Okay. This is the line. Now we have enough information to prove his relation. How do I present his profile? Oh, right. We can't present profiles in this game, so it has to be the case notes. Oh, that was funny. I'm sorry. Objection!
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court?
Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me.
No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name.
Sorry, sometimes I've been forgetting to actually do Inosuke's voice.
Explain yourself, please, Counsel.
I've here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with McGilded...
Yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton.
Milverton? Do you mean to say, sakes alive?
Mr. Ashley Milverton? Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father?
Gah, I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you join the civil service. It really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records.
The truth is, you've been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it unto McGilded in collaboration with your father. Nice JoJo spin.
Miss Spin.
The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded.
By dint of this music box, you mean, Counsel?
Yes, stealing information being sent in secret government communications, selling it on to McGilded. Mr. Grayson concocted this elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme of any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end.
Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Windybanks 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there.
But that attempt failed.
One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other you never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbroker. This time, determined to recover the second disc.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
Eh?
We never knew enough about that.
On the night that Mr. Windybank was killed, the intruder to the pawnbroker touched one item, and one item alone, the music box.
As rather ingeniously demonstrated using the 2 prints from the security camera, indeed.
So, the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago?
I refuse to accept any of this nonsense.
Sir, there appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. What? 2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Winniebank's pawnbrokery. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes's waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm that you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it?
He's got you now, me old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon.
Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windybanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me, and as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with McGilded. As God is my witness, I am sure I recall nothing of the sort. He is not going to go down without a fight, not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact, which is... Well, we know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Windybank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm.
Indeed it must. You can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself.
And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windybank was shot by a 3rd gun, which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder. That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could have possibly shot Mr. Windybank that night is you!
Dun 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 dun.
Hold it!
You little upstart! You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communication station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see... This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
What kind of argument is this?
he's
Oh yeah, I'm being accused of murder, so I'm a key witness in the case.
like, technically, I see what he's going for. He's saying he's gonna pin this on Gina. He's gonna be like, I was there. Like, yeah, I was there, but this means that I was there to see her shoot him.
But that doesn't work. If you've have a history of lying in court, they're not going to take your witness testimony.
I mean,
Then again, I guess Gina
if you're
also
gonna play
lied in
that, then
court,
Gina has the same issue. But I see what he's.
but she lied. She lied about not being innocent, though, or she lied about, you know.
She
being
lied
innocent, I
for
guess.
someone else's trial.
Ah, gotcha.
This is also someone else's trial. He is not on trial for the murder. He is a witness to the murder. We have yet to prove that he had anything to do with it, specifically. That is probably the lengths that we need to prove next. What?
Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment the pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the poor defenseless pawnbroker. Shot him.
Exactly.
What?
Order! 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 Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. Mr. Grade. Yes? I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
I hate this guy. He is a monster. He is an evil, evil thing. I wish I could squish him. He's a horrible. He is a
He's
bug.
a bad boy.
He's an insect. He is a cockroach. He is a despicable thing. And unfortunately, it seems like we're quite a ways from finishing the case. So I unfortunately need to stop here for now.
It's okay. The Nikki stream's gonna be starting in 39 minutes anyway.
The what stream?
The Nikki stream.
What Nikkei?
Nikkei.
Stream? What Nikkei stream?
The half-year anniversary.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. I have some other stuff to do, so I'm probably gonna miss it. But we shall see.
Fair enough.
I am interested in looking at it. I will probably stream. I might start streaming Nikkei again. Oh, by the way, I originally, like, while we're here, I just want to ask people before I leave. I originally had a setup for Nikkei that looks like this. We'll watch the transition. It looks like this, where I played it, like, I made this back when Jackal and Viper first came out.
Nice.
And I was still using animes. But, like, this red screen in the middle was because I was playing on phone and streaming.
Oh no.
So, like, Aki is here, like, playing on the tablet to, like, kind of represent me playing on my phone. But,
Nice.
since Nikkei can
Now
be
you can
played
play
on
it on PC.
yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably just use the setup again and just play it on PC. It'll make it a lot easier to stream too. All right. I need to find, like, a good time to stream Nikkei again though, because, like, I'm already streaming too many things. Also, it seems like we are coming up to the close of the first game in the Ace Attorney series. And after this, after we finish the first game, one of my friends gifted me Somnium Eye, something like that, for, playing on stream. And I said that when I was done with the first half of Ace Attorney, I would go ahead and switch over to that. So, we shall see. And then if there's time, I might add another stream for Ace Attorney. We'll see. But that's kind of like what I'm planning to do. Does anyone object to that? Or like, if so, like, you can either say it now or say it in the Discord where there's like the feedback channel. There's like ideas. So.
Honestly, I've been meaning to get that game, but I don't know if I want to pay money for it. So watching you stream it would be fine.
Yay! And I'll be starting over. Like, oh, it's a lot lesser known than a bunch of the newer games. Like the Ace Attorney games. Like, a lot of people have said that they wanted to play this, so they're not watching streams specifically because they don't want to get spoiled. So, I'm thinking... And I've heard I has more voice acting, like, built into the game. So, we shall see. I don't know anything about it other than it's a game of a similar vein, so we'll still be like doing cases together and solving a mystery. Though it's apparently like one giant murder mystery with a lot more focus on the investigation rather than like trying to do things in court. It's more like a police exploration side of things. So,
Like Persona.
yeah. Like Persona, I guess. So yeah, we shall see. Let's see. I'm looking at all of my friends and no one is streaming at the moment. So in that case, I shall release you all. But before that, thank you ever so much for coming by and listening to me derp around. Had a lot of fun today. And I am happy to have you all. Hello, Ronnie, you've returned just in time for me to say bye. Thank you ever so much for lurking all the time. It's really appreciated. I was just signing off and just seeing if anyone is streaming at the moment. No one is, so I guess I will just end here. But thank you ever so much. I really appreciate
And remember,
all of your lurking and always being around.
or
It really
die.
makes me happy. And it's nice to have all my friends here, even if they're just lurking. I try to do the same, but sometimes I mess up or forget or have a long day and I don't really have time to boot it up. But I am very grateful that you always take the time to do that. So, thank you very much. Also, I was told that people like the fact that I did the hydrate. I mean not the hydrate, the stretch voice line. So, I was wondering if you want me to change the hydrate one. And yeah, I understand, but you do it a lot, and it really, really helps. So thank you. I really like it. Alright, I shall. I will look into re-recording that then. There were some that were like, you should do all of the noises. That was a suggestion a while back, and it was like, I can't do all of them. But...
Yeah, do emotional damage.
Emotional damage. But yeah. Failure, emotional damage. I can smell the failure wafting off your corpse.
It's co-op day.
Yes. Alright. Thank you, everyone. I love you. Thank you all for coming to watch me stream. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you around in the next stream. Tomorrow is more going to be like another AkiFit stream and all that good stuff. So with that, I hope to see you around. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.